Welcome to episode 8 of the Us and Oceans Live News podcast. Us and Oceans Live News, the podcast. Hi everyone, welcome back again to another episode of Us and Oceans Live News podcast. My name's Christian Chappell. So what do? I do obviously the sort of post news and stuff like that on here. I'm basically just a truck driver, age of 37, being 38 next month, and I love the ocean. That's all I can say. I really do love the oceans, and very, very well, more than recently now, so it's been a while now since I found out how important the oceans are to us, and to me especially, because I don't want anything to see anything happen to the ocean. There's already too much pollution already going on, and there's no need to be there. Like fuel and oil leakages and stuff like that. All that always seemed necessary, oil having to be bored in the sea, but it's just we need to find a different way. Basically, fracking is another one that's coming out. It's pretty bad. Still uncertain. We probably haven't heard much of it. It was Fukushima, the leakage of the radioactive material that's been going into the Pacific Ocean. Where was that news gone? You know what I mean? It's nothing's happened, so nothing's heard anything about it yet. I know for a fact it's pretty bad out there. I know it's not as funny as it may seem. He always reminds me of like Simpsons. In the Simpsons, when the power station's right next to this lake and there's fish with 3 eyes coming out and stuff like that. That's how bad it is. That's how bad I always imagine it to be. Today, I'd like to again introduce Us and Oceans Live News, which is it's an organisation that I've created to help spread awareness to the people regarding ocean and marine conservation issues, problems, by sharing the statements and infos from various marine conservation organisations on social sites, mainly where I really get these posts from. From various genuine sources for a better health of the oceans, the planet, and all sentient beings that live upon it. So that's what Us and Oceans is all about. So today I'd like to talk about an issue that I found, which is British scientists have found microplastics in every marine mammal they examined. They say that they're saying we don't know yet what affects the microplastics or the chemical on or in them might have on marine animals, says Sarah Nelms, the scientist. The study involved 10 different species of marine mammals, including the common dolphin pictured, as well as the Atlantic wide-sided dolphin, bottlenose dolphin, grey seal, harbour porpoise, harbour seal, pygmy sperm whale, rhesus dolphin, striped dolphin, and white-beaked dolphin. Those are the studies they made. And on January 31st, UPI says researchers at the University of Exeter found microplastics in all 50 animals they've studied in a recent survey of beach marine mammals, including 10 species of dolphins, seals, and whales. Synthetic fibres constituted the majority of plastic debris recovered from the animals, strands from clothes, fishing nets, and toothbrushes. That's right, guys. Your fleece that you like so much that keeps you nice and warm. Oh, it's tons and tons of microplastics. All those very thin fibres that is on your fleece jacket. When you wash that, if you'd have a fluff filter on your washing machine, it basically it goes straight in the sewage. And believe me when I say this, these water treatment facilities, they do not have these the perfect filtration systems for these fibres that are on these fleece jackets. Very, very bad fleece jackets. These fibres are going in. They even found fleece fibres believe it or not, in phytoplankton. The planktons actually, they found the plankton actually eating this fibre, and thus blocking themselves up. But these are like tiny, this is how tiny phytoplankton are, mini. I mean, absolutely like minute. And these fibres, they've actually ingested these fibres. They said, I've seen a YouTube video, so I know the proof of it. They ingested these phytoplankton, ingested these fibres, blocked themselves up, couldn't eat any more what they were supposed to be eating. Thus, again, they can't, populate themselves, and they can't grow with, obviously, not able to have any sort of nutritional nourishment to do so. So going on from that one is the closed fishing nets and toothbrushes. 1/4 of the animals contain plastic fragments, likely from food packaging and plastic bottles. It's shocking but not surprising that every animal had ingested microplastics. Lead author Sarah Nelms, researcher at Exeter and Plymouth Marine Laboratory, said in a news release. Because scientists found relatively low concentration of microplastics in the marine mammals, scientists think most of the debris would eventually pass through their intestines or be regurgitated, but that doesn't mean the pollution can't harm large animals. We don't yet know what effects the microplastics on the chemicals on and in them might have on marine animals. Nelm said, more research is needed to better understand the potential impacts of animal health. Autopsies showed the beached animals died for a variety of reasons. Those that died from infectious disease hosted slightly higher concentration of microplastics, suggesting the debris could hamper the mammals' immune systems. But scientists say more research is needed to confirm such a link. We are at the very early stages of understanding this ubiquitous pollutant, said Brennan Godley, researcher at Exeter's Centre for Ecology and Conservation. We now have a benchmark that future studies can be compared with. The new study, published this week in the journal Scientific Reports, isn't the first to reveal the ubiquity of microplastics in the guts of marine species, but it worrisome news nonetheless. Marine mammals are ideal sentinels of impacts on the marine environment, as they are generally long-lived and many feed high up in the food chain. That's what Godley said. So there you are, guys. It just shows you that you should be careful what you use. I like toothbrush. I've received a toothbrush for Christmas from my mother, and it was a bamboo toothbrush, and the fibres are actually the brushing fibres are actually decomposable in salt water, and they also decompose in normal water, where it'll take still slightly longer. But yeah, it's kind of like a dilemma, really, because the best way to brush your teeth, if I've ever heard this before, is you hear of those licorice twigs, those roots. They're supposed to taste like licorice. You can get them in certain pharmacies. They look like a twig. They're actually like I'm pretty sure they're like a root. And what you do is you chew the end of the root, which then spreads the actual root fibres apart, and you actually brush your teeth with that. There's a natural sweetener in it, so there's no sort of type of sugar that will be left on your teeth. But it's always good to mouthwash anyway if you want to. But you can actually, with these spreaded fibres that you chewed on, you actually brush your teeth with that, and that's like the best way of brushing your teeth without any sort of usage of plastic. Just cut down on plastic, guys. Plastic bottles, reuse them. I do mine. Even though when they say there's a risk of the chemical in the plastic, they can get these chemical-free plastic bottles. Just reuse, guys. That's all I need. Recycle, reuse. Basically, that's what I do. Plastic bags. Get these type of canvas plastic. They're not plastic bags. Sorry, it's these canvas bags. I've got a couple of them. They're not very large, but they do the job. You know what I mean. You get plenty of them. They're green. They last quite long. They're quite sturdy and strong. So basically, that's that story concluded. So it just seems that when they say like it doesn't harm the animals, the down out fact is, regardless of whether it harms them or not, is it really fair for them to have this substance in the body? There's no need for it. There's no need for us to use something, even though it's easy. Again, I'm coming back to this mindset of, it's easy. It's not so time consuming. Or plastics are using varieties of things, and it's convenience. I get all that. I understand all that. But unfortunately, in this time of life we are in now, convenience needs to be put aside. We can't live comfortable all the time at this day and age where it's hurting us, the planet, and other beings. So it's not the best thing to have. It's really not the best thing to have. So basically, guys, that's that story concluded. I had a couple of other stories on Facebook. I saw a couple of stories. Obviously, I'll follow Fish Feel. I also like to make a promotion for Sea Shepherd. Those brilliant people at Sea Shepherd doing a brilliant job over there with Captain Paul Watson spearheading all the operations, and Captain Peter Hammerstead, I believe that's his name, Hammerstead, and they're doing a fantastic job over there. Always worth looking into those guys, seeing what they get up to, support them. You can actually donate with on their site. If you go to Sea Shepherd, you can press donate. They have awesome merchandise, brilliant jewellery, and also like wooden cutlery, bamboo type of cutlery, different t-shirts, all recycled from fishing nets and various other substances that they've found and reused, so to recycle. Also all the weights that they've been pulling out from the ghost nets, the weights that hold these ghost nets down, they turned those weights into diving leads. Again, fantastic job. They are very ingenuity minded people there. They always come up with different ways of conservation, recycling, and plastic, fighting all this plastic pollution, trying to protect as much marine life as possible. So if you want to go over to Sea Shepherd, which I highly recommend, I actually bought a cap there, which is an 100% eco cap, recycled from fishing net material that they've dragged out the water. And I wear that quite a lot, and I wear that especially in the summer. I always mark my Sea Shepherd. So basically, we have some posts been said by Fish Feel, which are one of my favourites, saying that fishing harms so many animals and in so many ways. And they're saying here, sadly really, it's the bodies of some 600 olive redley turtles and 2 dolphins washed ashore during 2 days last week at a marine sanctuary in India. It's suspected that the turtles were killed after being hit by fishing trawlers or entangled in nets in the sea. The mass deaths happened soon after the seizure of 380 dolphins from a trawler there. Given the death of nearly 1.7 million of these endangered turtles over the past 17 years, wildlife officials are accused of reporting a lower number of dead turtles in order to save their skins. That's a very sad thing to hear. That there's no need. Turtles don't deserve this kind of treatment. Regardless of bycatch. I don't care about bycatch. Don't fish for Christ's sake. There's plants that you can harvest plants, plant your plants, harvest them, eat plants. That's the way I look at it. You don't need freaking disgusting turtle soup. You know what I mean? Just leave these poor things be. And then all Fish Feel was one you may recall we were able to get a bill passed in Maryland in 2017, putting a memorandum of bow fishing contests that target cow nose rays, and directed the state to put a management plan in place for the rays, one that hopefully will ban these cruel, environmental, reckless contests for good. So they'll stop that. As the Fish Field says, stop savage ray killing contest. So that's passed there. Fishers, guys, fishers want to be friends, not food. That's basically it. Say with Chino, a golden retriever who lived in Mary and Dan Heath in Medford, Oregon, and Falstaff, a 15-inch koi, had regular meetings with 6 years at the edge of the pond where Falstaff lived. Each day Chino arrived, Falstaff swam to the surface, greeted him, and nibbled on Chino's paws. Falstaff did this repeatedly as Chino stared down with curious, puzzled look on their face. The close friendship was extraordinary and charming. When the Heaths moved, They went as far as to build a new fish pond so that Falstaff could join them. In many ways, human emotions are the gifts of our animal ancestors. This is been taken from yesmagazine.org. The emotional lives of animals, where we can have an emotional connection with animals. There's no doubt about that. What I've seen in these recent months, what fish are actually capable of it's incredible. People saying that they don't have a 3-second memory and all that is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true whatsoever. These fishes are smart. You might laugh when I say that, but I've seen a video literally where there's this fish, and I think I've recounted this story before. It's on my podcast, where the fish is literally recognizing shapes and colors, and it swims to the identical ones on one side to the other, recognizing the shape, recognizing the color, and then swimming to a floating ring in the middle where it gets chucked food into the ring and it eats it, and then repeats the process, and it's unbelievable. It's like a dog, like an African grey or something like that. You wouldn't believe it. The stuff I saw. That one is absolutely fantastic. Again, something I don't agree with at all is teaching a child to fish. For my sins, I have fished, and I'm still to this day, after I found out what I have found out on that day, I have never fished since, and I will never fish again, and I would never ever teach my children to fish. It says teaching a child to fish will sponsor a fish bowl where people, particularly youth, can try their hands at fishing in a mobile tank. There are so many great non-violent ways to get kids active in outdoor events. Fishing is not one of them. Teach your children well. Children should be encouraged to have respect and compassion for animals, not to torture and kill them. And that's what Sea Shepherd is saying. Sorry, not Sea Shepherd, Fishfield saying. And I will wholeheartedly agree with them. I'll go to Sea Shepherd's site now, so I drag some Sea Shepherd stuff out. Almost one of my favourite sites, which I have it lit up here. Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. Always one of my favourites, guys. Check the sites out. You won't regret it. They got some fantastic stuff. It says here, Sea Shepherd ship's window smashed and hull set on fire by poachers. Yesterday, Sea Shepherd's the MV marine vessel Falimoa was violently attacked by poachers in the Gulf of California while protecting the world's most endangered marine mammal, the Vaquita porpoise. Yesterday, porpoise windows were shattered by stones that were hurled at the ship, and the hull was set on fire by Molotov cocktail thrown by the poachers. Despite the violence of the attack, all of the crew is safe and accounted for. Mexican Navy assisted promptly. No arrests have been made. They're also asking for donation to keep them in the Gulf, drag these ghosts out. This is why these violent outsparks are happening. Sea Shepherd are there trying to save the Vaquita porpoise, which is presumed to only have 30 left of them, so literally they're like on the verge of extinction if nothing is done. And if Sea Shepherd hadn't been there for all this time, I think they're about been there for 2 years now, this dolphin-like mammal, it would have been already gone, and no doubt about that, it'd have been gone by now. And they're out there dragging these ghosts out, pulling all sorts of dead sharks, turtles, seals out of these waters that get trapped in these ghost nets, which are mainly being used for which is called a tatoaba fish, highly priced for the swim bladder, which gets dried and sent to China for some sort of aphrodisiac medicine crap again. Like the Chinese eat anything anything over there is dried, and they think it helps them in some sort of way. Yeah, some to some degree, I do agree in some sort of Chinese medicine, but affecting animals, any sort of thing from animal medicine, this is just not my cup of tea. Basically, that's what it is. It's tatoaba fish gets caught in these ghost nets, these gill nets, what they call. They get trapped in the gills, and they pull them out, take the swim bladder, always use the fish, but take the swim bladder out, sell it to the Chinese for a very high price. Sorry about that. I've just had some sort of protection going on here, so that noise is a bit irritated there. Never mind. Yeah, so they get swim bladder, get sold to the Chinese black market, and it's not the best thing to have happen to the Gulf, which unfortunately it kills these poor porpoises, these Vaquita porpoise. It's not a very good thing, really. So that's one of the breaking news that Sheepherder came out with on the 1st of February. Where they're saying the ship has got violently attacked. Been some couple of speeches going on at Sea Shepherd. You can check that out on their site if you want to go on there. And they say, like here, this is the part where they're saying with the Vaquita refuge. With your help, Sea Shepherd can increase its presence inside UNESCO recognised and federally protected Vaquita refuge. With escalating violence from poachers, we need to protect the lives of our crew to continue to be able to protect the Vaquita. There are less than 30 Vaquita left in the world. Every minute counts. You can be part of this mission. Given like an urgent appeal for donations. Currently standing at $22,901. They're looking to get about $70,000 to keep the Farley motor running on the waters, which obviously has been attacked now, so they could use these donations more than ever to fix the windows, and obviously that's what's happened to them on the first. Not a very good thing to see. Yeah, so basically, guys, this is the heart of it all. You see, everything has got to do with money, food related stuff. There's some sort of traditionalism by the Chinese, trying to get these swim bladders and all these ivory from Africa. And it's sad. It's sad that we're having to use animals to get this. They use animals for them to get this sort of stuff. It's basically it's just money making. It's a power trip for many of these black market people that are trying to get a hold of this stuff, and it doesn't do animals no favors whatsoever. We got to see animals on an equal footing as humans. They have a right to live. We don't take them away. You know what I mean? What if there was imagine if there was a scientist that was collecting wishbones for some sort of medicine, and he believes that the only way to cure whatever he's going to take human wishbones from your body, and slaughtering all the people. They shouldn't stop that, because it's human. So why not? But why not give the same rights to an animal? Fish, shark, turtle, elephants. There's no need. There's just no need. We don't need to take away from animals or take animals for us. We don't need it. It's all observe nature the way it is for them to be free and without harassment by us. Observing at the distance. The way it's beautiful intended to be. Stop taking their lives for our belief that it's going to give us a better life. This is just not the way forward these days. The same as like with meat consumption in the whole. I've stopped it over a year now. Consuming meat. It's just we don't need it. We just don't need it anymore. There's no need for it. We don't need to eat animals for our health. Which is not healthy. It's been proven that. It's not good for us. There's no by own means. It's not good for the planet. It's not good for the oceans, especially. It's not good for anybody. I would just say go 100% plant based. Make sure you get your B12 since you're washing your veggies and all that, and live healthy, live compassionately, and live with a purpose for a better planet. And I hope this one day this will be happening to the whole planet. Hopefully everyone will see it. You know, there's always going to be some stubborn people. I still know now stubborn people that they will not. They laugh at the. They will laugh at me by me saying that to them, and eventually they'll just say, "I don't even want to know anymore." You know, I don't take the vegan approach. I don't force anything upon them, but it's still these people who know I don't eat meat. They ask me questions, and I will give an answer, and they don't like this answer. You see, this is the way it is. You know, they just can't believe that it's working for me. You know, they're still waiting for me to keel over, and it's not going to happen. It just will not happen. I'll make sure I get all my nutrients and everything. You know, this YouTube will give you plenty of information. You know, websites like livekindly.com, plenty of information there to keep you up and running. And there's just no need to use animals for anything that we would need. There's no need for it. With that, I will say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Again, I have not have any sort of feedback from you guys. If you'd like to give any sort of feedback, I welcome it dearly. You know, comment if it's on YouTube, commenting down below in the post. It's wide open. It will always be free to listen to on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts. It'll be on there. I've been selected for various, also for Spotify. I've been selected for Spotify for it via the Anchor FM. We've been fantastic to spread it all out for us. And give me a comment, guys. Give me likes. Go to my page on Facebook, which is Ocean Oceans Live News on Facebook. Instagram, I'll be there. Twitter is there. You can find me there. Obviously YouTube, and my website is www.OceanOceansLiveNew without the S .wixsite/website, and it should pop up there. I'm pretty sure that's the right address. It's a long website. Don't worry about it, guys. It's only because it's free for me to use, and to have a proper website for me like OceanOceansLiveNews.com would cost me something I'm not prepared to pay for just yet. So it's free there. You can listen to my podcast. It'll roll on there. I'll put it on there too. You can listen to it, no problem. Plenty of information. I'm trying to get my head around the blog. I know I hadn't done a podcast for a week now. That's because I've been a little bit of a cold. And as you know, it's not nice having a blocked nose over a podcast microphone, which probably doesn't sound well at all. So I kept off trying to get my voice back. My nose cleared up a little bit, so I'm back here. Hopefully I'll make some more frequent ones, guys. I'll keep you updated on all these posts, and I will hear and see or write to you, hopefully, in the nearest time or future. And I will see you later, guys. Bye-bye.